All right, hello. I've been practicing the law of prosperity. I've been connecting to that abundant source, that all sufficient source that by my word will multiply as I connect uh, daily to it. Practicing the law of prosperity is bringing me into information that I feel that vibrationally I'm being more prepared for. There are laws, there are principles, there are procedures, and there is the practice of it all. Laws, principles, procedures, and practice. If you're trying to practice without laws, principles, and the procedure, I don't necessarily know how much success you're going to have in correcting your status and having the freedom that you want to, the discharging of debt, etc. There are tons and tons of good information out there, but if the information is not aligned with you, then it may, one, be hard to understand, and then two, it may be difficult to implement. So again, as many people have already said, having a foundation of the information, the laws, the practice, the procedure, the administrative procedure, and then also too, the laws, the I forget exactly what I said. The laws, the procedure, the principles, and then of course the practice. So in light of that, what has been coming up is just continuing to recognize for myself what it is that I'm getting myself involved in, going back over some of the contracts. For example, this is, I can show you this. For example, showing you, a contract. This is a car contract. This is my car contract. And going back and reading over it, I'm just like, dang, man. There's things that I wish I had known when I wish I would have just read it before, right? But then again, I could have read it before, but then I would not have comprehended what's being said. So not only being able to read these contracts and read these things that we're signing whenever we're entering into in any kind of agreement, but comprehending what it is saying, understanding what it is saying, so that way we can know how it is they are getting over on us. One of the big things that I was looking at in here, and that had been pointed out to me in a couple of different videos that I've been watching recently, is this idea of the security interest, right? So like in my car contract, in most of your guys' car contract, we give them a security interest in all of these things, right? And so I don't know, just going back over this and just seeing it for what it is, it's kind of been very helpful. And from what I understand, based on a video that I was watching tonight by Jonah Bay, who it gives excellent and incredible information. If you guys get a chance to check him out, that's Jonah Bay. I think he's on YouTube. I think he's got his own radio talk show. He does an amazing job. And he was not offered, but he was shown to me by Skeleton Don, who again is doing amazing things on this app and outside of the app in the private realm. So in light of that, one of the books that I was suggested to me by Path to Freedom, who does not have an account on here anymore, is the Uniform Commercial Code Made Easy. And I like this book just because there's a breakdown, and maybe I'll do even a reading of this book, maybe on a live, and just so that way, we have an understanding or an understanding of some of the Uniform Commercial Code. Obviously it can be difficult just kind of going in dry, reading the Uniform Commercial Code, and it's like, it can be a little bit difficult without context. Essentially what this book does is it gives you context in so few or so less words. Hold on, I want to make sure that this is recording. It is, yeah. So another book that I was kind of looking at today, I got this one. You don't necessarily need to buy this book, but you can actually get this one for free just as a PDF. But in this, it gives you the stamp duties for, whatever instrument that you need to stamp and endorse. You got to pay the taxes on the instruments that you're sending into the trustees, if it's going to work properly. I guess the big other thing that's kind of been coming up recently for me is the idea of that making sure you're getting the right information to the right people is important, right? If there's, I forget exactly what what UCC code it is, but there's a UCC code that basically says if you're gonna discharge something, you want to make sure that you get it to a person who's authorized to discharge the debt, right? If you send in information or the discharging of a debt to the wrong person, then you might find more issues or problems, etc. I think one of the big things that's coming up is one, learning about the UCC one statement. There's also two, obviously making sure we're understanding what a negotiable instrument is. And that's actually why I have this little bill here. This is a legal treaty on the laws of negotiable instruments. It's actually a two-part, thick old book. But this one, a treaty on the law of negotiable instruments, including bills of exchange, promissory notes, negotiable bonds, and coupons. This is volume 1 of 2. The other volume's over there, which goes into some other stuff. So, so shoot, man. There's so much information, right? There's so much information, and there's so much good stuff going on, and it's absolutely wonderful and beautiful to be participating in the learning of all of this wonderful stuff. But again, it's so important to be in alignment to the information I'm supposed to be learning at this point in time, in this moment. I feel thankful that information and the right people and the right sources flows to me when I'm ready for it, and the right people and the right conversations. I had a wonderful conversation tonight with a young man who, wants to do wonderful things for people in his position. All that to be said, continuing to do our due diligence, continuing to remain in peace as we continue on this journey towards self-empowerment. It's really a journey towards responsibility, the responsibility that you have towards yourself and towards your fellow man. It's recognizing that we have so many different roles that we play, so many different hats that we are to wear, to know ourselves as the creator, to know ourselves as the creation, to know ourselves as the debtor, the creditor, the beneficiary, the trustee, the whatever it is, to know who we are, the us, and then also to know who they are too. The people you think that you're against, the people you think are taking away your freedom, the people you think are creating fraud against you, whether they are, whether they're not, it's not for me to judge. Maybe they are, and whatever the case may be, we still have to deal with it, right? And so in dealing with it, hopefully we create peace towards them. And I think that that's kind of the point of the prayer that says, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. If I hold a debt against somebody else, how am I going to be forgiven of my debt? And so that even means, that short 100% means these corporate entities and these corporate persons. And so there is no debt in the kingdom. And again, I'm speaking in the metaphysical and spiritual side right now. So if I hold a thought of debt against somebody, how much more would that debt be held against me, to the creator? So recognizing that there is equilibrium, there is peace, there is freedom, and there is an abundance in that we all have a common tie to that abundance. If I think that somebody owes me something or owes me a debt, I'm not saying that there aren't creditors and debtors and that we don't live in a polarized world. But what I am saying is that if I think that someone owes me a debt, and I hold that against them, I can be assured that that same kind of debt in some way, shape, or form, in some karmic cycle is going to be held against me. Okay, so that's kind of the spiritual application of some of that stuff. Shoot, yeah. I mean, the only other thing is that there's what they talk about with your bills and everything, and the private banking, etc., which I think is information that is highly interesting. Learning about the bank as an intermediary, learning about the bank as securities transfers agent. And that's from Pastor Freedom and Caleb Holt, Ignorance Be Gone, who do great teaching on that. But yeah, I do my best to give credit where credit's due, to honor and respect the people who have brought information and brought an understanding to me, brought an understanding to me. I'm doing my best to continue learning. I'm doing my best to stay in alignment and stay in truth with and be faithful to what I have been given. And I know that the abundance exists for us. And as I've been practicing, I'm seeing it. I'm noticing it. I'm seeing it, and we're coming more and more into it. And I feel very thankful to be a part of this journey. And I think it's beautiful. So we're going to the top. Much love. I'll see you guys on the next one.